Dean Davison, liveweatherblogs.com, city meteorologist. I decided to take a look at some information. I wanted to look at areas this year that so far that have had severe weather. I'm a big fan of severe weather phenomenon and the mesoscales, connective systems, mesoscales, weather. Kind of what I take passion in forecasting and uh, understanding. And that's one thing that I wanted to take a look at. So, well, let's take a look what we have so far. I'm going to go in. This is from the Storm Prediction Center. We're going to go into this a little bit. This is a map. You can see where all the tornadoes have occurred this year. You see at Washington, Idaho. There's only a few states that do not have any tornadoes, and one being Nevada, one being Oregon, one being Massachusetts, and the one that kind of surprises me just a little bit more than anything is the state I live in, which is Virginia. No confirmed tornadoes in the state of Virginia this year. That's pretty crazy. We normally average at least 3 to 6 a year. It's an odd thing not to see any tornadoes in the state of Virginia. But you see North Carolina, not far from Virginia, you had a bunch of them. We'll get into how many were in each state momentarily. Like you see, the majority of them is in that area called Tornado Alley. This is Tornado Alley right here. So you see, Tornado Alley has a good amount. You got this area, it's called Dixie Alley. Dixie Alley, the season's actually in full now. You can see, you did have a lot of tornadoes in that one you see come across Mississippi. That's a long-lived tornado. But here are the two areas that you normally see. And you can see Pennsylvania, New Jersey have had their, New York City, they have had their groups of tornadoes this year. Especially southeast Pennsylvania and southern New Jersey. It's been a pretty good year if you want to see a tornado. I think they have 2 total in New Jersey. I have to double look that up, but if they look at wind damage, you can see the wind damage scale. It fills up everything. When I had tornadoes in Virginia, but we sure had wind damage and hail. Also, pretty big. Tornado Alley, tons of hail. But the East Coast has its area of hail. Virginia also. We're gonna move down. We move back to all reports. All reports overlaid with each other. You can see where everything lies in this map. 74 tornadoes occurred in January, with 41 tornadoes, 63 hail reports, and 170 wind. February was a slow month, 33 total reports, 1 tornado total in the month, 13 hail, 19 wind. You have 407 reports in March, 37 tornadoes, 255 hail, and 115. Getting a little busier. April, 1764, 197 of them tornadoes, 747 hail, 820 wind. Here we go. May, usually the busiest month, but not this year. 3,390 tornado reports. 290 of them are tornado reports. 1,496 hail and 1,604 wind. June, 6,011 reports. There's a lot of reports. 428 tornadoes. 1,441 hail reports. And 4,142 wind reports. Which happens to be the busiest tornado month. So July, we go back to 3,886 with, you can see, let's go with the rest of it, you can just read them yourself. Most tornadoes occurred in June this year. So where did tornadoes mostly occur? 24 in Alabama, 12 here, 38 in Arkansas, 66 Colorado, 22 Florida, 0 in Delaware, 6 in Connecticut, which is high, 4 in Georgia, none in Hawaii, because Hawaii hasn't had 1 report of any severe weather, 46 in Illinois, 94 Kansas. Well, 94 is, you think that's a pretty big number for Kansas. 52. 0 in Massachusetts, 2 in Maryland, 29 in Michigan. Look at Minnesota. Sticks out like a sore thumb. Where we normally do not see tornadoes as much is Minnesota. 145 tornadoes this year. That's a lot of tornadoes for way over its average. And we'll keep going. 1 tornado in New Hampshire, 1 tornado in New Jersey. That would be Plumstead Township. Continue down here. 15 in New York, 20 in North Carolina, 0 in Oregon, 15 in Pennsylvania. That's a pretty good average. 0 in Rhode Island. 96 in Texas. So Minnesota's beating Texas. 2 tornadoes, did occur. Pardon my other information. 2 tornadoes did occur in Virginia. Washington, D.C. did not receive any tornadoes, but received some wind damage. Top 10 tornado days. 17th of June. 115 tornadoes. Then April, and you can go down, straight down the list to see what you have there. The totals, 19,851 reports, 1,314 tornadoes, 5,632 hail reports, 12,902 wind reports, and that's up to 10/17/2010. And by no means, severe season is not over. The areas you're going to possibly see, would most likely to see tornadoes, the majority of the rest of this year, will be in this area that I'm drawing on. This is called Dixie Alley. In that area, this area is the heaviest area. Dixie Alley is usually in effect through about December and goes through. It's a multi-month thing. Dixie Alley is the second largest alley for tornadoes. We've seen a lot of deadly tornadoes occur in Dixie Alley because unfortunately these are at night. But you see all the red dots. You can see where the tornadoes were. Like I said, a lot of them were in Tornado Alley. Rest were majority was Dixie Alley. Then we have this northeast area out near Lancaster and east to the fall line near New Jersey. That is something I call that's a high area for tornadic activity that normally occurs up there. So that's an area that has been studied, at least in my aspect, I studied it for being most probable area to have tornadoes. Plumstead, not as much, but I have seen wall funnel clouds in Plumstead Township before, and I think that's a Seabreeze interaction. And I'll get into that with a future time when I go into some of the papers on it. But until then, I just want to go through this severe weather, and this is a little long, but Beanie Davison, liveweatherblogs.com. Thank you for listening. Have a great one.